Hi, welcome to another episode of the Valley Culture Podcast. I'm so happy that you're able to join or tune in today to today's episode. As you can see, it looks a little different today, right? Today we are we're outside of Joy Juice. They have like a seating area on the side of their restaurant. So we had the privilege to be doing our episode here today. Thank you, Joy Juice, for allowing us to be here. We are enjoying some fresh lemonade, and we would like to thank today's sponsor, which is Joy Juice. Thank you for sponsoring these delicious lemonades, and thank you for sponsoring today's episode. If you're looking for a place to eat something delicious and healthy and nutritious and all around just gonna make you just happy after you're done, Joy Juice is the place to go and to come to. And without further ado, I would like to introduce today's guest on the Valley Culture Podcast, Jose Renteria. Jose, how are you today?
Good. Thank you so much, Rebecca, so much for having me today. I really excited to be here today and everything else that's going on today.
Yeah, so we are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming and sitting down with us. And
no problem.
We're so excited to dive in and get to know a little more about you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm as I mentioned before, I now live in Oceanside.
Okay.
But I'm here for an event in Brawley, and there's a Cesar Chavez event later that I actually, not later, I mean, it's happening right now.
Okay.
The car show, the festivities, the food, all the vendors, a bunch of small town businesses that are coming together. And then the after party is Inferno, more music, more drinks, more food.
It's going to be a great event. I can't wait.
Definitely.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Jose Renteria?
Well, I'm... the reason I come back over and over again to the Imperial Valley is because I'm from here.
Okay.
Been living, well, like I mentioned before, I live in Oceanside. I've been away from the Imperial Valley for the past, almost 4 years, 3.5 years. But I have family here, my cousins, my mom in Calexico, but I'm originally from Calexico.
Cool.
And somebody was saying recently, I'm not sure if it was somebody from your podcast or somebody else, who said, wait a minute, there was a hospital in Calexico?
Oh, yes. That was our last episode.
Yeah, and so, there was. I think it closed down in the late 80s, early 90s, and then it became something else, and I think it's like inpatient health something or other.
I think that's a PMH inpatient or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm from Calexico, and lived there till I was practically 9. Moved away to I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tulare County, the Central Valley. Yeah. Around Visalia. Every time I mention the Central Valley, you have to say, near Fresno. They say,
See, I'm from Bakersfield.
Oh, there you have
Fresno's like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So I'm familiar. Yeah.
So it's like Visalia, Bakersfield and then Visalia,
Yeah.
and then you get to the tiny town of Ivanhoe.
Okay.
And which is very close to the foothills of the Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
So we moved there when I was about to turn 9, and then eventually came back in the mid 1999. I was 15 and a half, and then finished my high school at Calexico High School. So though I wanted to be a trailblazer, Golden West High School, where we moved to, I had to become a bulldog in Calexico High School, and then graduated in 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, with several people that are making waves and that are entrepreneurs, that are lawyers, that are attorneys, that are everything that this valley should have to make a difference.
That's amazing. So you came. We were talking about before coming on the air.
Yeah.
And that you came from a good generation, like you said, a generation of lawyers, and I remember you mentioned that you went to high school with Brenda.
Brenda Estrada, yeah. What's interesting is now I feel old when I say this. I'm 38.
You're young. You're young.
Yeah. But I think it's because there's so many people that are a lot younger than I am, 25, 27, and they're business people.
Yeah.
And but besides that, I see the generation from now, the high schoolers now, and I have some younger cousins of mine that are 20-something, early 20s. And and I look at what they're doing, and they do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I said, man, our generation was effed up.
Yeah.
In many ways. But now we're a lot more reserved. We still have a lot of energy. And I still remember, hey, it's that girl or that guy that did so-and-so that streaked naked in high school.
Yeah.
Now he's doing something completely different and professional.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how people change. Obviously, we're going to change. We're all going to change. We're going to get better, and we're going to be all become lawyers and have kids and have a home. But
it's nice when you see, like you said right now, when you saw this person was this person was tremendo, or whatever. Yeah. But now you see them and it's like, wow, they have their own business. They're lawyers, they're successful. I mean, you don't judge. You don't really know what the end result is going to be with somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. So awesome.
So I think a lot of people that are the adults that we grew up around, when we were 17, 18, 16 years old, and we were going crazy in high school and doing mischievous things. Now we're working with those people that were trying to teach us lessons. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. This and that. Now we're working with them, and we're part of the community, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going to move away and make $1 million, and who gives a crap about Imperial? Who gives a crap about Calexico? Now we're really part of the community in a positive way. Yeah. And I hope that I'm contributing in that way as well. Yeah.
And like you said, I think the Imperial Valley, a lot of people don't realize that Imperial Valley has so much talent. There's so many talented people. There's so many entrepreneurs and business people. And I think the Imperial Valley has like so much to offer. And I feel like that's why people keep coming back. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I remember hearing years and years ago, we're talking about 20 plus years, somebody said the Valley has a curse. That not in a bad way. But you move away, you go to New York, you go to Sacramento, you go to San Francisco, but something about the Valley that brings you back. And whether it's for better or for worse, it brings you back. I mean, here I am, not that I live here, but I'm coming back over and over again, not only for family, but for business as well. And trying to network and trying to connect with people to help them with their needs and how I can help extend my services to them as well. So yes, there's a lot of talent here, and not only with photography, video, but also music, art. I think that's it's important to showcase their talents as well, and to bring them to light, and to say, hey, let's encourage these people, because like I said before, the people that I grew up with in high school, a lot of them were very talented artists, photographers. Now those talents translate into what they're doing now. And, you hear from family members or friends that, like, oh, you're not going to do anything with that. Like, why do you waste your time with whatever you're doing? That's something creative. But now social media, color, video, everything that you learned in art or video, some video class is really coming in handy.
Yes, definitely.
It really is. It has for me as well. So,
awesome. And speaking about talent, I know that you have a very special talent, and I want to talk a little bit more about that.
Sure.
But first, we're going to go on a little commercial break. We're going to be. I hope you enjoy this next video that was created by Precision Photography and Multimedia. Check it out. Awesome. So what did you guys think about that? Their food is amazing. If your mouth hasn't watered up yet, it will once you have that sandwich and that tea and that lemonade and that those drinks and the, oh my God, it's just, I'm just talking about it's making my mouth water right now. Head over to Joy Juice. If you haven't tried it, what are you waiting for? And we are back with our guest, Jose Renteria. So tell us a little bit about what you do, what the talent that you have, and it's an amazing talent.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca.
Yes.
I provide voiceovers.
Okay.
I don't think that's really offered in the Valley so
Okay.
much. Maybe in San Diego, where I live now, but
For those that maybe that don't know what a voiceover is, what is a voiceover?
sure. So voiceover, if you think of commercials, if you think of a commercial about cars or baked goods or
Even like
services,
movies,
or even movies,
Yeah.
the trailers, the voiceover track, it's like a quick narration of what's happening in the actual footage.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I think a lot of ads nowadays on social media will just have like a very quick what they offer. No voiceover track, it's just music.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. But there's the lack of a voiceover sometimes. Which is okay.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're selling, what your services are. But anyway, so voiceover is really something that I got into because of the fact that it goes back to when you're a kid. You know,
Yeah.
you have some love for me, it was TV.
Okay.
Even though I was not a couch potato in it by
Okay.
any means. I was always running around with my friends in the neighborhood and
Awesome.
playing baseball, basketball, tag, hide and go seek, and everything you can think of as kids typically do. But whenever I was home, I would be watching Ninja Turtles. I would be
Awesome,
watching
yes.
Inspector Gadget,
Great.
the Pink Panther. I was watching all the cartoons, you know,
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
And then there was all these commercials of like Squeeze-Its and Kool-Aid
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Kraft macaroni and cheese and all the commercials you can think of. But and there was always some very excitable voice.
Yeah.
You know, the Gushers.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, introducing Gushers Blueberry or something. you know?
Yes.
And so it was always interesting to have those voices.
Okay.
And I remember those voices as a kid, and I paid attention, but I wondered who the heck was doing
Yeah.
those voices. I said, somebody's actually like just like us.
Yes.
Somebody's in front of a microphone recording a voice for a certain service, a certain product, a certain toy, a certain kids commercial.
Yeah.
And for kids, they have to be bright. It has to be quick.
Yeah.
It has to be loud. It has to be attention grabbing. And so growing up, eventually when I was when we moved away, when I was about to be 9, we came back. My mom separated from my former stepdad. And then when we were here in Calexico, we went to Walmart one day. I think the Walmart had just opened or
Okay.
like a year before that or something.
The one in Calexico?
I think it was, I could have sworn it was the one in El Centro.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong though. It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
But I got myself, and I've talked about this before, the Kevin McAllister talk boy from
Okay.
Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
So he carries around a voice recorder.
Yes.
And he switches a little
Those
thing.
were so popular.
Yeah, oh, they were? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got one, and I used it all the time, and I pretended that I was like in show business
Yeah.
or something. It's like, hey, what do you think of the so-and-so?
That's
and then
so cool.
and then my grandma would not answer, or my aunts, and then we would do kids things with commercials, and my cousins would do the same thing.
Yeah.
And they would have a hairbrush instead of a microphone. The same
How
thing, right?
fun. Yeah.
And so, or they would be in front of a mirror recording,
Yeah.
or not recording, I'm sorry, like if they were performing
Like an
live.
interview or performance or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And so I was a little bit more shy. I didn't do that, but
Yeah.
I carried around the recorder because
Okay.
it was actually recording.
Yeah.
So eventually, when I was about 14, I bought another recorder.
Okay.
And then, so there was this correlation of like, okay, I remember the stuff from when I was a kid, all
Yeah.
the cartoons and the commercials, but also now I'm incorporating my own recording of everyday stuff.
Okay.
You know? And then even my friend, I never mentioned this before, my best friend Carlos, who I consider to be like my brother,
Yeah.
long before podcasts, he had this little stereo, and I'm not sure if he remembers this. He probably does. We put a blank tape in the stereo.
Okay.
We hooked up a microphone. His dad was like kind of a tinker with with a bunch of electronics. He had like 7 VCRs. He had like 3
Oh,
stereos
wow. Okay.
and some little shack in the back in the backyard, and he had all this equipment. You know, whether it worked or not, we were gonna test it out. So we put a microphone, and we didn't know what we were gonna talk about.
Yeah.
But so he said, "Hey, Jose, we're going to go into freshman year in high school. What do you think about that?" Or something like that.
Yeah.
Never did I think that it was ever going to translate into what I do now.
Okay.
So anyway, not to give you a really, really long story, but I started doing the recordings and stuff from TV.
Yeah.
And then I've always loved art and drawing and music. And so I got into music heavily. And I play guitar, and I've performed, I've recorded music, and some of that music you can find on YouTube.
Oh,
actually.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's I recorded a few years ago with Danny Corrales from Matt Black.
Okay.
He's had a few other musical endeavors, but right now he's in that band, and so he has a studio in Calexico.
Okay.
And it's Better Noise Records, and so I said, hey, I'd recorded with him before. I said, hey, Danny, I have some more songs. Can I record with you? He said, yeah, sure. So we recorded in the span of about less than a year. We recorded some stuff. So that's available on YouTube.
Okay.
But anyway, the reason I mentioned that is because I want to make sure that I make the point of, like, I've been into music, audio, sound. Yeah. So I've had this fascination.
Something that you really always liked and enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, it's something about it. So I put it all together. So when I was a teenager, I would always make those voices like, we'll be right back with so-and-so.
Okay.
As if I was on TV.
Okay, cool.
And whether anybody paid attention or not, I was doing that.
Yeah.
And or I loved basketball.
Okay.
And I would watch the Bulls games when the Bulls were good.
When the Bulls were good, it's been a while.
Back in the 90s.
Ooh, that was a long time.
Yeah, with Jordan and Dennis Rodman and,
Yes.
and all these different great players.
Legends, yeah.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen. Anyway, so we'd watch that, and then I remember doing the voice almost like the announcer, like Marv Albert.
Yeah.
Who eventually, I think, was caught for something.
Oh, man.
It's kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
Anyway, you had to look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
when this is over, I'm gonna look it up.
Marv Albert bit somebody. Anyway.
Oh man, he was hungry. It happens.
He has to take a bite out of somebody's flesh. But anyway, so there was. So I would do those voices.
Okay, cool.
So eventually, I've been doing music I never put that down. I'm still making music. I'm still playing. Obviously, the COVID has really affected a lot of people.
I mean, at home we had a guitar. We should have brought one.
Oh no, I have it in the hotel right now. I always bring it over.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what happened was once I got out of high school, I went to college, and I got really interested in eventually in wildlife and outdoors. I've always loved fishing.
Oh, cool.
So I got into that, and then eventually I worked at the Sunny Bono Refuge in Calipatria. I worked there for 6 years, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So that's more or less where I kind of honed in my experience in the challenge of getting up in front of people and speaking.
Okay.
Because I was always reclusive and kind of shy and timid when I was in high school. I had my friends, but music and as well as talking to large audiences helped with my timidness of not wanting to present in front of class when I was in high school. That was a big challenge for me, you know. And so eventually I said, you know what, around that age, 24, 25, I said, this is a great job that I have at the refuge, though it's not permanent.
Yeah.
You know, the time is going to come when I'm going to have to leave. I said, there's something that I have not done that I would love to do.
Okay.
Going back to the whole announcer voice kind of thing.
So, like, in high school, did you ever? I know, like, high school they have like pep rallies and stuff, or like rallies or football games.
Never did that.
Never something like.
No.
Like, I remember like a football game. They had like an announcer, like
number
20 something or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it something that you wanted to like? Because now you like sports and stuff like that. So maybe like, okay, let me see if they would let me, like, you know, it was something you were the shyness would beat you.
It was way too much for me. If anybody said, hey, Jose, come up here on stage and present whoever,
Yeah.
I would have been petrified.
Yeah.
You know, I would be sweating bullets and
Yeah.
all red in the face. I just couldn't do it.
Okay.
So you have to break away from
Yeah,
that. You know, at some
definitely.
point, you know,
Yeah.
eventually you mature and
Yeah.
you're no longer so shy.
Yeah.
So what happened was, but in high school, what I haven't mentioned is that
Yeah.
right around 16 years old, I started
Uh-huh.
making clay animation
Okay.
at home because I bought a camera eventually when
Uh-huh.
I was 16. I didn't buy my camera. It was my mom that bought me the
Okay.
camera. It's like a $300 camera, video camera.
Aw.
So I put it down, I put it on a tripod, and I started making little figures.
How cool.
And they moved pretty fluidly,
Yeah.
actually. I was like, wow, this is pretty fun. I love art, I love music, and I love doing this.
Yeah.
And I pretended like, hey, this is really cool. I put the light right here, and it looks like a studio, you know?
Yeah. Awesome.
But it wasn't, of course. It was just my bedroom.
Everybody starts somewhere, though.
Yeah. So I thought this is really fun, and then I told Mr. Ely from my English class in sophomore year. I said, Mr. Ely, can I show the class something? He said, yeah, sure. What is it? Because if it's something rated R, we can't show it. I was like, no, don't worry. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Can I just show something? And he said, yeah, sure. So there was somebody in my class who said, you got to take Mr. Cheney from high school. He taught ESL, English as Second Language, and he also taught video production.
Okay.
So I took that class pretty seriously, actually, because I really liked it. And he was pretty serious about his craft as well. So he had all the equipment, very much like the lights that you see here.
Okay.
And then he had the right audio equipment, the mixers, the switchboards, everything, the green screens. So he I think taught himself how to do all that.
Yeah.
Maybe watch some videos or something, instructional videos. But I learned how to edit on a
Cool.
computer, video. And this is when the Macs were, those, I forgot one of those, like
Those
the
big round, they weren't the flat
yeah,
ones anymore.
it was like the pink and the blue and the
Yeah.
green, like
Yeah,
those.
those were super cool. I
Yeah,
remember when they first came out.
From the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I learned iMovie, and then I could manipulate sounds and video and put it all together, splice them all together. And I thought, man, this is a lot of fun. This is
And
really
in
cool.
high school, did people already start telling you, like, hey, you have a really cool voice?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that they said it was cool. It was like, you have a weird voice.
Yeah.
You have a funny voice.
Yeah.
You say things certain ways, and
Yeah.
and then my friend's parents said, hey, Jose, I was actually talking to one of the first times that I'd gone to visit her. We were sitting in the living room, I think. And then the parents were in the other room watching a movie.
Yeah.
And it was nighttime. It's quiet. I'm talking to my friend Margie and her sister Debbie. And then they said, hey, you should be in radio.
Yeah.
And I said, what? It's
So
like,
was
yeah.
it like I mean, you have a pretty deep voice. Was it
Yeah.
already like that in high school?
For the most
Sort of,
part.
yeah?
I think it's
Okay.
gone a few notches deeper
Okay.
because
As we
it's been
get-
20
yeah.
years. It's actually been 20 years, and I graduated this
Yeah.
year,
Awesome.
2002. Anyway, and then eventually I heard it again,
Yeah.
like, oh, you have an interesting tone of voice.
Yeah.
But I never paid attention.
Yeah.
You
You knew that it was just something that you liked. You really never paid attention how.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but eventually I put it all together.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, I think I can do this. But I didn't do that with Mr. Cheney. I just
Okay.
did editing,
Okay.
camera handling. I did some direction on the floor of
Yeah.
like how to frame people and the lighting
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. And then, so I graduated,
Yeah.
and I said, if for some reason my art career that I
Yeah.
thought was going to be like, oh, I'm going to be going to Hollywood
Yeah.
and all that. I said, if that fails in any way, or if I somehow don't like it,
Yeah.
or as a side job,
Yeah.
I can go into video
Okay.
production, video editing, because I found it a lot of fun.
Okay.
I thought it was just a lot of fun. And there's a need for it,
Yeah.
obviously, for networks, for anchors, for news, for productions, for games, for
Yeah.
performances. There's a need for
Yeah.
videographers. That's why you obviously
Yeah.
are videographers as well. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So, but once I got into the outdoor
Yeah.
land management, wildlife conservation, I didn't forget about it. It was more like, I think my experience with all that in a way taught me how to behave and how to perform
Okay.
in front of an audience.
Okay.
Sort of, because I saw it.
Yeah.
Though I didn't do it in high school,
Yeah.
I saw it, and I learned how to do it, of how to make sure that that a presentation wasn't boring.
Yeah.
with color, with photos,
Mm-hmm.
with what you said,
Yeah.
with keeping scripts short
Yeah.
and sweet, as people say,
Yeah.
short and sweet. But so right around 24, 25, I was doing the wildlife thing
Yeah.
up in Calipatria with the wildlife refuge,
Mm-hmm.
and then and that's when it came back to me again. I said, the only thing that I haven't done is voiceover.
Okay.
I want to do voiceover. I would love to do the trailers for the movies, the Terminator
Yeah.
or something. Or obviously Terminator was the latest movie that was released was like last year, I think it was.
I think
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Anyway,
it was kind of
but-
funny, but yeah, you got to retire. I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Oh, was it a girl though, or did he come? I don't
No,
know.
that was number 3.
Oh, okay.
For this one, he has gray hair and he's he's aging.
Yeah.
But they said, well, the flesh does age,
Okay.
even though he's a robot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so he has
But,
grays
yeah.
and he's making cocktails, but he never drinks.
Yeah.
Because he's a robot.
Yeah.
So
So
anyway.
that was something. So you wanted to do like, so that passion or maybe that thing started coming.
Yeah.
Hey, like, maybe I can. Okay. So what was like your first job, or when did
Yeah.
you realize like, you know what, I want to put myself out there? And
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Okay.
So what happened was in 2017 was when I recorded with Danny
Okay.
Corrales at Better Noise Records
Okay.
studio in Calexico. Right around this, something about 2017 that was really good. Towards the latter part of 2017, I was going through a divorce. Not that it's bad or anything, because actually my life got incredibly amazing afterwards.
Okay.
It's like all the things that I had suppressed and
Yeah.
not done, I started doing like as soon as I had this newfound freedom,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, I want to do voiceover. I'm going to go to KXO, and I did.
Yeah.
I spoke to somebody in KXO, and I was bummed because after I spoke to whoever I spoke to at
Yeah.
KXO, they said, well,
So what it's called, cakes?
KXO.
KXO,
The KXO, the radio
Oh,
here in
okay,
El
okay.
Centro, the
Okay.
studios. And they said, we don't hire people often, but if anybody is going to announce any event, anything that's going on
Yeah.
around the valley, which is what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
community events, we do it in-house. We don't need somebody who specializes in voiceover. And so I was pretty let down.
Okay.
I said, man, that's where I can start. And so I moved out of Brawley in late October 2018 when I was living there, still in the valley. Moved to Indio. By late 2019, so almost 2 years later,
Yeah.
I said, okay, I would take my phone with me to work and put on music and podcasts and history, and I love history, and I love geography, and I love to learn about everything as much as I can. So I put on something about voiceover, put on my headphones, and then there was this man by the name of Earl Hall, and he said, hey, you can make money, and this wasn't like a promotional video, it was like his own podcast, and he said, everybody, if you have a voice that you think is good enough for the radio, for TV, for commercials, for tutorials, for e-learning, or any of that, then please listen.
Okay.
So
Awesome. We want to continue to hear.
Sure.
I want to go on a commercial break, and
Of
I want to
course.
pick up there because I want you to tell
Definitely.
us how that impacted you and like reignited that. Okay, let's
Definitely.
see what we can do here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go on a commercial break. We are gonna be showing a video from Nana's Kitchen, guys. It's so exciting. April 23rd, Nana's Kitchen at the Color Fest in Imperial will be having their Danny Jones burrito competition on the main stage. So check out this video.
Hi, this is Brenda from Nana's Kitchen, and I'm so excited to introduce our Danny Jones Challenge Burrito contestants. So choose your favorite, support, share our post, and hope to see you soon on April 23rd, Market Days in the city of Imperial. Good luck, hope to see you there.
Hi, my name is Pete Rodriguez. I've entered this contest because I'm here to win it. Yeah, there's great competition, there are great competitors here present, but my girlfriend brought me up to this challenge, so I'm here to represent, and I've dropped 45 pounds, but I'm still going to take on the challenge because I can lose weight with this challenge.
Hi, my name is Alonso Sanchez. I'm a high school math teacher, and according to my calculations, I got 99% possibility of winning this challenge. And that's if I arrive 5 minutes late to the contest. Bring me that burrito.
Hey, what's up guys? King Q here, and I hear it's Carb Up Day, and I'm about to win this challenge, so everyone else, I'm sorry guys, I'm taking it. Let's go.
My name is Lester, but you can call me Les. But just because you call me Les doesn't mean I'm not the best. I'm Brawley's champion, 2019 Taco Winning champion. I'm here to take this back to Brawley. Come on.
My name is Juan Carlos. I'm here to win. Get ready, guys, because I'm going to take this.
It's going to be such an amazing event, you guys. April 23rd at the Color Fest in Imperial. We will be on the main stage at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be so much fun. And we are going to continue here with our guest. So you said that you were listening to a podcast at work with your headphones on.
Yeah.
And you heard Earl
Hall.
Hall. He was saying you want to make money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because he's a voiceover artist himself.
Okay.
And he mentioned a platform where you could actually sell your voice.
Okay.
Basically, where a lot of companies, a lot of big companies, small companies, and entrepreneurs come to the platform and look for different services.
Yeah.
Video, photography, translation services, and voiceover.
Oh, cool.
So I said, wait a minute. I need a pen and
Yeah.
a paper. I need to jot this down. This is my chance. So I paid attention. I started listening to more of Earl Hall. And then eventually he also had mentioned Anthony Pica. And Anthony Pica was also I think he was theater teacher,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. And so he started doing voiceover as well. And Earl Hall was I think a city bus driver for Minneapolis or somewhere in the Midwest. And so he started doing voiceovers on the side, very much like I am, because I currently work for Stone Brewery in San Diego.
Okay.
And so I said, I'm not going to go full-time with voiceover unless I have a very good income.
Point,
it gets to that point. But I'm going to do it on the side once I got everything together. But anyway, so I listened to a whole lot more of Earl Hall, Anthony Pica, and Angela Alfest, who were all basically like voiceover was their side job. And they were no longer earning maybe $100 a month or $200. They were earning $8,000, $10,000 plus a month on this platform for voiceover. I said, wow. And I said, I know I can do this.
Yeah.
I know that I can do this. I know that because I really want it.
Yeah.
And I know that I could, I have some kind of voice.
And you've been putting the practice in since you were little. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't realize it, but with that Peter McAllison recorder, you've already put in the work. I mean, that was preparing you all this whole time. Yeah.
All this entire time, it prepared me for this moment.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I actually sat my girlfriend down and I said, look, let me have a quick conversation with you, a quick discussion. What do you think?
Yeah.
And I said, I want to get into voiceover. I'm taking it very seriously. For now, I'm going to keep my side job as well as my full-time job.
Yeah.
My side job, I worked at Bevmo for a while.
Okay, cool.
The liquor store.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a while, and I kept the job till late 2020. But in the very beginning of 2020, this is a little bit pre-pandemic. We're talking about before we started hearing about the increased amounts of people that were being affected by COVID. I would be home just doing a bunch of research. Yeah. I would get on YouTube, check out the equipment that people were using, the right equipment, and on a budget.
Okay.
On a shoestring budget. So I said, okay, so I'm not even kidding. I think I spent $129 for everything that I needed to get started.
Yeah.
And so, but my profile picture, my demos were not that great.
Yeah.
And so I said, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And so you have to look at yourself, which is what you should always do.
Yeah.
That you're doing something wrong, not somebody saying, well, or you don't tell yourself, I'm the best and they should hire me.
Yeah.
No, you have to be self-critical as much as possible, and what you do, especially when you have your own business.
Yeah.
So by around the summer of 2020, at that point, I'd only made just a very little money. We're talking very little money.
Okay, but you had already had somebody had already
a few here and there.
What was your first?
I actually did one of the first ones that were paid was for Ave Tequila.
Okay.
And Ave has probably already launched.
Okay.
And it was like, they said, do it with an accent because I speak Spanish.
Okay.
It was like, 100% guerrero. Or, it was like
Okay.
it was, what was it again? It was something about the Los Hombres de Tijuana or the Jalisco. Or I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly what I said, but
Yeah.
it was something about the brand.
Yes.
To put an accent behind it. And I said, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
So and they loved it.
That's great.
And it was a very 15 seconds
Okay.
kind of a thing, and they tipped me, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but I'm still lacking more work.
Yeah.
So something is up.
Yeah.
So by the summer of 2020, by late summer of 2020, we moved to Oceanside.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm still very much connected to the Imperial Valley. So I got in touch with Angelica from Brawley, and I know her because of the American Legion.
Okay.
By early 2018, I was hanging out at the American Legion a lot. I was going to Sajos, I was going to Inferno. I was just hanging out and having a drink or having a dinner whenever. And I met her, and everybody at the Legion was like, you remember that show Cheers?
Yes,
It's
I
like
do.
where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
It's like one of those places you go there, everybody knows you.
Yeah.
And then I became part of the crowd eventually.
Cool.
He's like, hey, Jose, how's it going? And then, so I stayed connected and very much like I would say, hey, how's everything over there? How's Brawley with COVID and everything?
Yeah.
And she said, hey, you said that you're doing voiceover now, right? I said, yeah. And so she said, I know my friend Isabel. She's running this term, and she did win, if I'm not mistaken. She did. And so I think they need some kind of narration for what they're doing. I said, oh, great. So it started with Isabel and Eric, her partner Eric Reyes, and then I branched out and I networked, and I started to I did a few voiceovers for somebody here in El Centro, and so I said, wow, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You have to reach out to your community first and try to make it to where you appeal to your services to them, so you can get ahead and have some experience with voiceover.
Yeah.
And so
You have
that's
to
what I
start
did.
somewhere, definitely.
Yeah. So even though I wasn't being hired on this platform quite yet as much, I was reaching out to the community here in Imperial Valley, and I did get some work, and
Awesome.
I made some money. And then I don't even know what in the world happened. By September, October of 2020, I started getting more and more work.
Awesome.
More and more work. And by late 2020, I was already making a whole lot more money than my side job.
Yeah.
So I quit.
Yeah.
I left my side job at Bevmo by November of 2020. And I told my girlfriend, I hope you're okay with me quitting this other job. Yes, we need it. But it's actually getting in the way now.
Yeah.
My side job is getting in the way of
what you-
voiceovers. I want to come home, focus on my voiceover stuff, whatever projects I have to do.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and you pick up steam.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at. It's like you network, and then I started getting more jobs, more gigs,
Yeah.
and people start talking. And they recommend you, and that sort of thing. So now I'm doing voiceover as a side job, and sometimes it's slow.
Okay.
But I have a quota in my own mind. It's
Okay.
like I have to make this
Yeah.
much from voiceover. Otherwise, I get worried.
Yeah.
But I was worried this month,
Yeah.
and suddenly the past few days, I got 4, 5, 6 jobs.
That's amazing. Awesome.
That were just
Congratulations.
all of a sudden thanks.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, perfect. I made what more than what I thought I was going to make for the
That's
month.
great.
But it's been going really well, and so I have all this. I have a lot of people to thank. I have Angelica to thank, Angelica Gonzalez from Brawley, and actually when I lived in Brawley, it was funny. She actually lived like a block, and I never knew it.
Okay.
And only about a block away from where I used to live. So anyway, so now I'm here, and I did I reached out to the Brawley Chamber of Commerce. I did the Cinco de Mayo.
Nice.
They put some little funny things in there. It's like, it's taco time. I can't remember exactly what he said. It's like, and then it's like, how nacho. It's like it's nacho ordinary.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, okay, cool.
Come and enjoy Brawley's something or other.
Okay.
Anyway, but so I did that, and then I did the cattle call.
Okay.
ad for this past year.
Awesome.
I did Chabelas, I did brownback cookies, I've done the Imperial County Health Department for COVID related announcements.
And then I know you did a voiceover for I Do Events too,
Yeah,
right?
the I Do Events, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, with Oscar. And so I'm reaching out as much as possible because I think a lot of what I'm trying to do here with the Imperial Valley is because we were talking about entrepreneurs, we were talking about small businesses, storefronts, or people who deliver, people who have businesses from their home or services. I reach out to them and say, hey, if you want an ad for radio, for social media, for YouTube, Instagram, etc., I can do the voice, make it engaging, and put a little bit of a music to it, and make it exciting for people to make it more official. Yeah. And so I met with Lisa from Brownback Cookies yesterday, and I was giving her a few more tips, and she was giving me a few more tips.
Awesome.
And through her, I actually connected with other people as well.
It's all about networking and connecting and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for anybody in the Imperial Valley who's listening, if you are interested in a voiceover, I would just say, hey, contact me. I usually but reply to messages fairly quickly. If I don't, it's only because I'm not allowed to bring on my phone at work, you know, or I'll say get on my case.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good about getting something done very quickly. If you need something in 24 hours or less, I can get it done.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I've also done some stuff for the lithium extraction.
So do you usually come up with a script, or
sometimes
do they write it for you, or how is that
both?
Both. Okay.
Yeah. So I've said this before that I'm not much of a writer, which is sort of true, sort of not, because I've written songs. I've written my own songs. But when it comes to ideas, when I was in school, I didn't do so well in math, but I excelled in spelling, English, and art.
Okay.
And though I love history now, I didn't love it back then.
Okay.
So I honed in on my ability to get ideas down on paper, and that's how songs come about. You rhyme. There's always some rhyming scheme with poetry and songs. So that's more or less the same thing with writing scripts for businesses. Again, if somebody says, okay, we're going to air this on the radio, it has to be 30 seconds. Yeah. You already know the word count. I already know the word count. Cool. It's like it has to be 55 words, it has to be 100 words, or whatever it is.
Okay.
So, yes, I do write some of them. Again, pretty catchy little things that you can say and not be so bland about it. Yeah. So that's what you have to watch out for. Yeah. So that's what I've done, and I'm offering services to whoever's open to having an engaging ad voiceover, because I do video, but I'm not. My main area of focus is voiceover, of course. Yeah.
Awesome. And you've done great. I've heard some of your stuff, and it's amazing. So
thank you.
And I'm really glad, and I'm glad that it's been opening up more for you.
Yeah.
And more people here in the Valley, and I know that soon you'll be able to branch out in Oceanside, San Diego.
Yeah, I hope so.
Places. So you always have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's picking up, and like you do amazing. Like I said, I've heard some of your stuff, and it's been such a pleasure to have you here on the Valley Culture Podcast. Yeah. So before I end this episode, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in and has watched it. Thank you for joining. I know that you have an event later on today, actually, right?
Yeah, it's in fact, the Cesar Chavez event is happening now, but it's going to get louder and better as the day progresses. Yeah. But so I'm going to be doing a bit of a presentation over there with Eric Reyes's guidance, and so it's gonna be fun, and it's I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you guys are actually tuning in today, this episode was pre-recorded. So if for those of you that went to the Cesar Chavez event, I can imagine you guys saw them there and you guys had a great time. And I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Valley Culture Podcast. And I'm excited right now because our friend today is going to do our, how do you say it, despedida, like our bye guys. And he is going to do it, showing us his amazing talent. Are you ready?
I think so.
Yeah.
Tell me what I should say again.
You're going to say, like, thank you for, I don't want to, because it's going to sound so much more clear when you sing it. Say it. So you're going to say thank you for watching the Valley Culture Podcast.
Yeah. Episode
10.
Okay.
Have a great day. Oh, like and subscribe.
Oh, okay,
so
here
thank
we
you
go.
for watching the Valley Culture Podcast,
Okay, here it goes.
episode 10. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Are you guys ready? It's gonna be great.
All right, let's see. This is kind of, I've never done this in front of people.
Zone into your.
Yeah. Let me to get a little thing of bourbon and whiskey and loosen up a little
I don't
bit.
think they saw that here at Joy Juice next time.
Yeah. You never know what's in here. Anyway, here it goes. Let's see. Thank you for watching the Valley Culture Podcast, episode 10. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that was great, you guys. So if you guys are in need of a voiceover, any businesses watching us that need a voiceover for radio for their commercials, hit up our friend here, Jose Renteria. He will do an amazing job, as you heard right now. I gotta give you goosebumps to tell you the truth. So it's gonna be great. So he, you guys can, we'll leave the link below with his phone number, his information that you can reach out to him. And thank you so much again, Jose, for being with us. And
thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching another episode of the Valley Culture Podcast. Not as good as Jose, but I tried. Thank you. Bye-bye. Once again, thank you to Joy Juice, today's sponsor. I am so excited to be here. And one of the reasons I was so excited to be here because I knew that we were going to get treated just so right. And this is their Manzana Loca. I'm here with my friend still, Jose Renteria. What do you think?
This looks great. I got to taste it.
Yes.
Very good.
Delicious, right?
Spicy, tangy, sweet. Has a bite. Perfect. Yeah. Beautiful.
Come to Georgia's for your Manzana Loca. You won't regret it. You almost don't want to mess with it because it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Georgia's.
Thank you so much.